From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and LIUNA.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, coming to you this week from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, certainly one of Indiana's iconic venues. Big news coming from the Speedway this week. Is it May yet? Almost. About a month away now from action on the track.
And Joseph Newgarden finally wins the Indianapolis 500.
Inside the hallowed grounds of this legendary 2.5-mile oval, this $60.5 million makeover of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, finally crossing the finish line.
When people come through the tunnel, what do they see? They see the museum. We're looking at maybe 250,000 people will go through this museum over the next year. If you take that times 50 years, and that's when Tony started this, that'll be 11 million people will come to this museum and go through it over the next 50 years.
The IMS Museum still dedicated to its mission when it was built nearly 50 years ago, which was to preserve, honor, and celebrate the Speedway's rich 116-year history, only now in a much more contemporary and immersive way, like this. Certainly looks nothing like it did when it opened in 1976, the year Johnny Rutherford won his second Indianapolis 500.
I've won the shortest Indy 500 in history. They said I was the first driver to walk into victory lane, which is any way you can take it, I guess.
Outside, new windows and an upgraded facade.
It is time for the Indy 500.
Exhibits like the starting line experience, which puts visitors in a front row seat. To the sights and sounds of race day, and believe me when I tell you, I've been here on race day live from the crack of dawn to the call for drivers to start their engines. This exhibit really puts you as close as you can be to actually being there live. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum is reopening this week after being shut down for renovations for about 17 months. The $60.5 million makeover could make it one of the most visited sites in Indiana.
Hey, the cars flew like this.
And we have the entire Inside Indiana Business crew out here this week to break it all down. Mary Rachel Redmond focusing on the museum's education component, which is a big part of the new museum. And Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta checking on accessibility improvements for people with disabilities. But first, let's get the big picture of the new Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum with IMS Museum President Joe Hale. Joe, thanks for joining me.
Sure. Well, what'd you think?
I'm kind of speechless. It doesn't happen very often, but coming through here is really amazing. I know that's what you're trying to do with this renovation. How would you describe what you see here?
My favorite part of this, it's been a challenge being closed for 17 months, trying to get people excited about a dream, you know. My favorite part now is just watching people's reaction when they walk in here. There's not 1 square foot that hadn't been transformed in some way. It's been a complete reimagining of this museum to, as you say, be more immersive, participatory, interactive, educational, but also entertaining. And I hope people are going to be entertained.
Yeah, and you know, the old museum, you know, it served its purpose certainly, but it become, I think most people would agree, maybe a little bit stale, maybe a little bit much different than what we see here. That race morning video and the sound effects is really a great way to start it.
Well, it is, and I love seeing people's reaction to that as well. There have been cheers, there have been tears in there, there have been goosebumps as people watch that, and that was exactly our intent. I mean, you know, we are, in some ways, we're promoting the 500, and when there's nothing else happening on the track, people can come here and really get a sense of what the 500's about. We're a bucket list destination.
Yeah, certainly workforce is a big issue in Indiana business today. And I know education and also careers in motorsports are kind of part of the displays here in one really interactive area focuses on innovation and what motorsports is all about, and maybe getting young kids interested in the sport.
Well, as somebody who many years ago started out as a public school teacher, I have always been focused on education. And we have a new innovation workshop here that really will tell kids in middle school and high school that there are lucrative careers being created right here in Indianapolis in the motorsports industry. If they take the right math and science classes, they'll qualify for some of those apprenticeships and they can go right into them. So they're real opportunities.
In terms of what you anticipate, no way to know now for sure, but this could become really one of the iconic destinations when it comes to museums. Indianapolis has a rich heritage, the Children's Museum and others. This can be right along that.
We hope so. I don't care where you go in the world. If you mention Indianapolis or Indiana, typically we're associated with the 500. And our mission here has been to stay true to our mission of telling the stories of the 500 and celebrating the cars and the drivers, but just doing it in a very different way.
Yeah, and you and I were talking before we went on camera. You've also got a timed entry program here that may make sense for folks who want to come out.
Especially at the beginning, because we want people to have a quality experience. We don't want them to be slammed in a huge crowd. So we are doing time entries. People can just go to imsmuseum.org and buy their ticket for the day they want and for the time they'd like to come in.
And I know you want me to get this one in. You're still raising money, right?
We are still raising money. We want to add to this collection. We want to do more programming. You're going to see a heck of a lot of programming going forward.
Joe Hale, congratulations on a big project.
I
know a lot of folks will be interested in coming out.
Appreciate it.
All right.